Welcome to GameBreakers. I am Thomas, this is Allison, David, and Diamond, and we are continuing A Bard's Tale, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game. And by continuing, I mean right in the middle of the action. When last we left our intrepid heroes, you had just taken the fast way through the desert by following a Disney princess Genasi to surf a sandstorm. And
Did you say a sandstorm?
No,
yes,
that's
he did.
Good too. A sandstorm? Yes. No, a sandstorm. And after a few very hectic minutes, you guys have now crested over the top of the storm, seeing it plateau over you as the camera zooms back in, and you are pretty stably beginning to float up. You guys have spotted the airship, the silhouette of the airship you've arranged, and are heading that direction. There's plenty of wind still, and now that it's not so violent, Abrila is able to pretty easily guide you. Could everybody give me a perception test? Unless you'd really like to, I know especially you, Struana, like to sometimes really study the environment around you when you have a moment.
Well,
So
at this moment, I'm
investigation could
also
work for that too if you're going to take more than a momentary glance.
trying to get to that ocean.
20.
I got 11. I got 10, so
Is that investigation or perception?
I was perception.
Okay.
I can also roll an investigation, but
That would take like a minute of really looking at it. Not really. Okay, like you guys aren't having to make regular checks now unless you guys want to do something nifty to keep your sort of modified hang gliders in the air. Abrila has control now. The air is calmer and it's well within her skill.
while I am definitely interested as a player, my character is much more interested in just getting to that airship and not hang gliding quite so much.
Right.
Where we
she looks down for a minute and then she's like, okay, that's enough.
Like, not afraid of heights, just deep breathing, doing some little bit of...
Right. Well, Stan, how'd you do?
11.
11? Okay. Well, there is a whole ecosystem that exists above a sandstorm, apparently. There are things that hunt and feed on what is being thrown up from the ground. And you see some packs of hunters and things. ClickClack, none of them seem to be actively tracking or paying much attention to you. Most of them are opportunity predators. You see pterodactyls, some wyverns. You see some snakes that have grown large enough and have some sort of feathery appendages that allow them to glide on these winds that pop their heads up. You do, with your 20, occasionally see a looming shadow of something larger in the underneath in the storm part of the storm. But nothing makes itself known, kind of breaks the visibility plane.
Okay.
Are there large dragonflies?
Yes. Go ahead and everybody roll me percentage dice. A D100.
Oh, God. Okay.
Because the top of this sandstorm is just boiling with random encounter potential.
I got 56.
56.
62.
Hang on. 32.
32. You pass without incident. You see a lot of dog-eat-dog predation down there, including like some elementals that are just riding through and get eaten by something big. But nothing seems to think that you are interesting enough to eat. And you are able to float your way into the lane of airships that are sort of kind of convoying to track the wind together. I mean, there's kind of only a few safe routes in the morning, and everybody kind of clusters up on them. You approach your ship. You come from broadsides. You see Bannon waving as you come in. He's sort of like motioning to one side on a foredeck, prepared a landing area for you.
Do they look at all surprised that we've arrived via fly stuff?
Well, you're a little far out to make an insight check. Maybe you should try and land first.
Okay.
So...
Madness.
He waves you guys over to an area, and now you will need to give me a piloting check. A Dex plus tool proficiency.
Is that everybody?
Yes.
23.
Everybody would like to land.
22.
What was the roll?
Dex plus your one proficiency bonus for the tool, essentially, for the vehicle.
Okay. So Dex plus proficiency. 8. Nailing it. Nailing it.
It's a parachute. You don't want to be nailing it.
All right, Stan. So everybody is coming in for a landing. The other two kind of like pull up. They've ClickClack. You may have even done this before. You've had some practice. Stan, though, I mean, you don't flying in adamantine the way you do doesn't make for much in the way of maneuverability. And so while everybody comes up and over the railing and makes a pretty easy two-step landing, you on the other hand are just like plow right into the side of the railing. You crash through it. You break directly through. The weight of you is enough to break through it. You're going to take
A bar to the face, for one thing.
Now Stan, give me a Constitution save.
All right, I'm better at those. 30. I got a natural 20. That's 31.
Well, good.
Not dead, Stan. Here we go.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I meant to do that.
So you're going to take 15
A little bit of that
bludgeoning
hangover dizziness.
as you just crash, roll, smash, crash, and you end up like smashed against the other railing on the other side. The gnome's like diving out of your way. Your wings are done. They're completely. They took that much damage too, and they're not built for sturdy. They're not armored.
Yeah.
That would sort of defeat the point.
Yeah. Damn.
But you guys make it to the ship.
Yay!
Now I haven't drawn in all the quarters or things. I had actually was planning to let you guys do a chunk of that, but here is the ship layout. It goes left to right, bottom to top. So bottom deck, mid deck, top deck.
This. I remember this. Ah! Ah! Freaking out over here.
So, you're welcomed on board. Bannon immediately welcomes you aboard. What news? And as soon as he like clasps your arm and nods at you two, he looks over at Abrila, and in her movie, she has just met the exotic dashing rogue, and there's a swell of music, and they make eye contact, and there's a flashback duet. But that's not the that's not the story we're doing. But he looks at her, and you see that they have sort of a moment, and then it's like, and your friend, welcome aboard, everybody.
I'm
Yes, sir.
sincerely entertained by this. just like logging that for like, oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay. Polite
other
greetings.
folks, too.
Sorry. Go ahead, Stan.
Sorry. We have other folks as well. So that's Abrila. And someone you probably haven't seen yet and probably won't much is Unvala.
Oh, there he is.
And then Thursday 09247 the inevitable. Right?
He plane shifted when you guys started surfing. There was no kite wing thing ever crafted that was going to lift him off the ground safely.
We might
show up. He's not with us now.
It's a cone for a face. Can we meet somewhere not just directly above board, that where we can chat about what the news is?
Yeah, we should do that. Come along. A few gnomes help you like doff your wingsuits and your undo straps and
Dust on Stan.
right.
Sorry about all the damage.
Oh, don't worry. It was just gonna fade away in about another hour anyway.
Yeah, but I still broke the side of the railing.
It was all just magical, mostly illusion, really. Kind of surprised it worked.
Okay, but she's also apologizing about the edges of the ship.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
She didn't even notice.
Yep. But I am get like. But
Bannon's like, well, it's your ship. I mean, don't apologize to me. It's
That's a fair point.
you're
Yeah.
you're buying the materials, boss. We just provide the labor, right?
Yeah, healthy respect for that. The Abrielle, is that her name?
Abrila.
Abrila. I keep wanting to say Bridget, which is worse. A lot worse. So while we're finding somewhere to be like, but Abrila, it did work. You shouldn't, downplay your capabilities so much. It did work.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Thanks.
Yeah.
I feel like that went really well.
We're not dead. That's usually the outcome we need. Said with like a jovial friendliness, not a sarcasticness. Although I may have had to like swallow that back down at the end a little bit.
It's hard to turn off.
Oh.
So he takes you into the bridge where Captain Stewart is in residence. Welcome. Shall we? To the ready room.
No. To a meeting room. That'll be the bridge.
Okay. Buckle pin. Take the helm. And Abrila is like, oh, I've never seen the helm of an airship before. I'll just stay here.
Sure. I mean, like, whatever.
We didn't bring her strategy.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
It's sort of, that's an excellent idea. We'll be right back.
Also, like, wind elementals and gnomes on an airship. I feel like this could work. If bards aren't going to be matchmakers, who's going to be?
Right?
Usually
okay.
parents of neighboring kingdoms.
True.
Well, this is the night of the polarities, apparently.
So, you meet with the captain. He clears off the desk. What are my orders?
Well, we need to fly near Snake's Head. Is that the place we're going, Thomas? That can't seem to remember what it's called.
Yes.
Iseneth. We need to fly relatively close to Iseneth, and then this party has to launch the bobble airship from there. And you will need to wait somewhere that is relatively safe, which is going to be an interesting thing. And let none aboard who aren't, like, explicitly part of this party. Like, I'll make sure to describe all the potential people that can be.
Here's all our guest stars.
We are, going to be... Oh. We're going to be trying to surprise someone who's quite a bit stronger than us. And then get out of here.
All right. We will calculate launch trajectories, find a subtle place to lay low. There are even ports that service the city, but I don't know what condition they're in.
It's worth stating that some of what we are doing, people there will be more than a little bit upset about if they find out. There are whatever the in-game equivalent is for, in the homebrew equivalent is for monks, but like whatever that's going to be.
It's monks.
Okay. You might have decided that the gnomes have a different word for them, and I wouldn't know that, but you would.
You mean like the character class?
Yeah, but speaking in character class seems a little meta. Just
I'm a ranger. Hi.
Right, said the bard. So
yeah.
Yeah, but all right, fine. Anyway, who can move through these sandstorms as if they lived in it. So if you were going to be attacked, I would suspect that would be the time. The worst possible time. You know to look out for worst possible times, right?
Yeah. We've planned through a lot of worst case scenarios on this trip already.
You're welcome.
I certainly look forward to you telling me about some of them.
Well, Well, for instance, nothing goes below 350 feet because that's where we figure about the maximum snapping range of one of those worms is.
That's good. And that's good to know.
ClickClack, thanks for a second.
That's kind of terrifying. Just looks concerned for a moment. Are you gonna roll, or should we wait for you to finish thinking?
No, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we didn't know about most of that. We do know there are giant spiders.
Well,
Sure.
good.
They're Stan, Thomas, that their blood was acidic, right? Or is that something my brain's making up?
I don't remember.
Who?
This giant spiders.
Their blood was acidic?
I don't remember giving them acid blood, but it sounds like something I'd do. I haven't edited that episode yet.
Well, whatever that was, that story, that thing, that part of that thing.
Well, what a fascinating land you've brought us to.
Times.
We'll maintain a low profile until we spot any signs of combat on the ship. Is there a signal you'll give?
The standard one on this page of this book that says this thing that is, oh shit. We may not be able to once we got him imprisoned. I feel like if we have to do a quick and spooky escape, we might not be able to let you know that we're coming. Else, anyone chasing us might know where you are. That is a worst case scenario.
All right.
We don't entirely know what we're going to find, frankly. We don't have enough recon for this, and we're doing it anyway because no one else is doing it. It is not the ideal plan.
Got it.
Any questions?
Seems pretty cut and dried.
Not so much with the dying. Mostly. Inquiry as to the state of their healers and ensuring that their healers stay rested.
We've got a full crew complement. Everyone is, well, I mean, getting used to the heat. But
there's that.
We're in good shape, fighting trim. You have noticed a lot less clothing on the ship than you had previously seen in port.
Nice.
There's a lot more skin showing. Sailors rubbing sunscreen on each other. That's
It's one
For
of
those for those watching at home, when he says sailors, he also means gnomes.
What's wrong with that?
Dwarves. There's dwarves on the crew too.
Nothing wrong with that. Just fixing people's imaginations.
Right?
There's no fixing people's imagination.
There is only pure imagination.
Right. Rule 34. So,
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, he says, well, you should probably get some rest. We're about 9 hours from the city. You should get there by almost sundown. Is that when you'd like to make your approach?
Black Convergence is at night, right?
The Black Convergence is tomorrow afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you just going to ask who planned that BS? Because that's what I was thinking.
No, I just I have that image from Majora's Mask where the moon is like 10 feet from you. It's right there, and it's oh god. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Okay. Probably. It'll work as good a time as any. It's any time that is before the time. But I would certainly like notification once the city is begins to be in sight, or if anything interesting happens.
All right. Well, feel free to take a rest. There's just bunks, I'm afraid. There's the accommodations in your small ship are a little more comfortable, although it'll be a little crowded for all your friends.
Oh, should be fun. I think I'm gonna go see what that lovely monstrosity is up to.
Until then,
yeah.
It is literally your ship. Please be gentle.
Are they being passive aggressive when they say that?
No.
Okay.
Just, treat it like yours. It's our home, but it is your ship.
Right.
We're sure you'll be nice to it. You've already saved it once. It's fine. No, everybody's very nice, very respectful. Calls you boss.
So, moving forward then.
All right. The ship goes straight toward the rock. I mean, there's no deviation. Once the storm is done, it's the ships that had clustered together, for protection and in the very thin window of safe passage, they begin to spread out and go their separate ways, darting as fast as they can. Plenty of the predators, by the way, that hunted the top of the sandstorm do start to get interested in things that are left behind if they're still hungry. Everybody roll me percentage again.
$61.
91.
74.
Where are you guys situated? Do you, for the next, say, 10, 15 minutes, where do you go?
I would have started heading towards one of the Abril? Abrila? Dang it. Because I don't want her to completely harass the, navigation. And she's going to have an interesting, important part in this, so I want to make sure she's prepped for that, and I feel like she's kind of my responsibility. So I was going to engage with her before taking a short rest.
Okay, right, and there's a multi-generational curse in place, so you don't want to screw it up.
Weirdly, I'm less worried about that one.
Right? Doesn't matter if you don't have kids.
Yeah.
You die tomorrow. So.
That's what we call a loophole.
Bards are good at finding them. They're like lawyers, only more fun at parties.
They're like lawyers with charm.
Every lawyer I've met has a lot of charm. They're just not any good at parties. You can't break any laws around the lawyer because they're like, I don't know if I should. See that?
So the captain retakes the helm, goes back to commanding the ship. Bannon offers to give Abrila a tour. They've been bantering you here as you come in.
That shadow that I saw on our approach.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a better way of answering this. Is it something that would make me nervous as a ranger? Like, do I see it and think, oh, that's a predator?
Oh, it was definitely a predator.
That I need to look.
Like
that I
the
need to
shape
keep
of it
a lookout
was.
for?
I mean, it
Like,
was, oh, go ahead.
is it like that's a cheetah and I'm a rabbit, or is it like that's a cheetah and I'm a cockroach and it doesn't care?
You would definitely have been small prey to it. It's an apex predator. It goes for big prey and other predators.
That's not true of all Apex, but whatever.
It's true. But nothing is true of all anything. So
as soon as we finished our brief or our thing that I would assume I was supposed to be present for, I would probably spend at least a few minutes. I'm assuming there's a crow's nest.
yeah, you can climb up and over the dirigible portion.
I would be up there with my goggles of perception, just seeing where Shere Khan is at the moment.
Okay. So from where you're perched, you can see very far away the storm just about hitting the city at this point, actually. And you can see that particular predator has gone, only exists in the cloud. It can only be carried up by that violent a storm. It probably hangs out in the sand. Tough to tell. It was kind of manta ray shaped. Probably stays buried during the day. Who knows? Didn't get a good enough look to make any really good assumptions.
All right.
What's your passive perception, by the way?
20.
Okay.
Something stupid.
You do also notice from that perch, you can see the top end, kind of the top dome of your ship from where you're perched. It's mounted behind the dirigible portion, so it doesn't mess with the airflow, but it's still securely on. And you can see two sets of 3 taloned fingers holding as though something were stuck onto the back of it.
Do I recognize the fingers?
You can give me a nature check.
Oh dear God.
I mean,
okay.
They're not. It doesn't have knuckle tattoos. They're not identifying
But-
features or anything. It's.
Hey, it's Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hey.
13.
Seems something. I mean, it's a wing talon. I mean, it's pretty clearly something that is winged and climbing, larger than a bat. Seems. From the size of the talon, you would guess it's at least a medium-sized creature.
And it's just holding on and traveling?
Seems to be. It's not moving much.
How far am I from the nearest sailor?
There's another crow's nest about 30 feet, or actually about 50 feet. I suck at boat terms. Forward.
Ahead.
Ahead.
I whistle to get his attention.
Okay.
And point it out to him and some sort of like, I think it's id creature.
Okay. He kind of like looks both sides and kind of like looks and does the like gnomish like I don't have an angle on it.
Okay.
We've been having problems with wyverns.
Hmm.
They like to hitch a ride.
Do they ride and leave or attack?
Depends on if we find them before they're hungry again.
Okay.
We should probably try and clear it out.
Yeah, that my general point was like, is this a thing that is supposed to be there, or is this something we need to deal with? And it's sounding like it's something we need to deal with. How far away is it?
About 75 feet with declination.
And all I can see is the talons?
Just the talons, just the fingers.
I'm gonna shoot its talons.
Okay. I'm gonna give you disadvantage on this shot. It is.
Thank you.
It's a very small target.
Well, that's horrendous. My second roll was a natural 20, you asshole.
Well, what was the first one?
A 4. But that's a 6.
A 16?
Yeah.
Is still a hit. And it sort of goes off, and that will be my second roll of the evening. Ha! And the other you see it hold on and at one point it kind of comes up and over and you see it like flapping one wing. It looks like its claw is stuck. It's like a cat that's trying to run away with its claw stuck on something, and finally like, and you see it just. It did not roll well. It rolled a 3.
Well, that was my natural 20 for the day.
Don't say that. We need you to have more.
Yeah.
Am I within earring range?
Oh yeah, it's got like a 10-mile radius.
What time? Like how long have we been awake?
You had the epic long rest, the 1 hour long rest from the Kirin at about 3 a.m.
And what time is it now?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of the travel montage in early afternoon.
So it's not. I wouldn't be. It's not bedtime yet.
It's not long rest time, no.
Okay, I update Struana and I tell her that I'm gonna stay up here and keep a lookout for a while.
Okay, make sure that you're like communicating with whoever else is up there in the crow's nest. And what are the chances that I actually know the names of people who would be useful, Thomas?
On the ship?
Yeah, pretty high,
there's
right?
A few. I mean, you knew a couple of them pretty personally. There's I mean, I only remember them as archetypes. There's your cousin, the
First
mate.
sword.
There's Radar
Yeah.
O'Reilly. There's the captain, a couple of the swordsmen, a couple of the scouts. A lot of the players knew.
Guy.
As part of the engagement with ClickClack, then, like, you know, don't take on everything alone. You got a whole boatload of people. Literally.
I'm just being a telescope right now.
Okay.
Oh, and
Thanks
I am up there by myself. Lovelace is on deck.
Okay.
Thanks for checking in. Scream if something goes awful. Don't forget to rest before we, you know, try not to die.
I know.
It's unclear to me.
Die right now, so you know.
Who had?
Who had it?
So.
What?
I'm gonna need a survival check from you, ClickClack, as you spend hours on top of the Zeppelin. It's a pretty easy ride, but boy, is it hot. You've got plenty of water, so you're fine.
13.
You're gonna get a point of exhaustion.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What makes that go away?
Rest.
Okay.
I think restoration spells too.
Or I can just sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing?
Well, I got a 91 on your check thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I took the average of the group, and the Wyvern was the encounter.
Average.
And
How'd you wait it up?
Turned out
You're
not to
welcome.
be a big fight.
I'm going to. Well, I got two things. I got to make sure that Unvela. I was closer that time. Is prepped. Is like agreeing to kill ethereal horse. Is prepped to do that. If needs any information, if there's any, like, engage in that conversation. Is there anything else I need to know? Is there anything else you need to know?
I've killed 9
And then-
before.
Are you capable of it this evening, or
Yes.
is this too sudden or soon?
Wherever, whenever.
Awesome. And let him know what the plan is for the general plan of beating him down and locking him up. And then Magic Girl, the same thing. And talk to her about illusions that she may be able to cast to let us get much closer to Borannor.
See, I had a question. I had questions about that. What kind of illusion are we talking about?
I think we're talking about being, and we can have this over the earrings. Like, this is going to be on the whole time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking the Escrion.
Mm.
That's who he's expecting, is Escrion. So
Yeah, that's true.
seems like Escrion would be exactly who should walk out of the bubble.
Who should that be? Like, actually, though. Me? Someone else?
I can cast a seeming spell on all of us, so we could all be somebody. And if you could give me a really, really good mental image of what this Escribal, Escritor?
Yeah.
I'm charmed that you're as bad at names as I am.
If you can give me a really good mental image, I can make one of us look like him.
I feel like the sense that all right, my deception isn't the best, but this would be performing a character. And I might have better roles doing that than the rest of you, as much as I do not want to be first in line there. It's probably got to be me.
I can give you a little magical oomph. I can help your skill at talking.
That would be fantastic. So let me.
I can also do invisibility. I can make us invisible, and I can make a big illusion that could cover Thursday or something. Or
I think I'm not worried about Thursday.
Okay.
I think he's just gonna show up when the time is right, and not before then. So I think by the time he shows up, the bluff is done.
Yeah.
Pretend I said that character.
Yeah, and then I repeated that and said, and I agree with that. Like, I'm being a microphone to her as well. Invisibility, though, would probably be pretty fantastic for both ClickClack and Stan. Let's see if the three of us can give you a really clear... if you guys are okay with this.
Have we met
the Escreon?
Have we met the Escreon?
Yeah, he was the guy we took the bubble from.
Then I have a drawing of him.
I love you!
What? You have a drawing of him?
Of course he does.
I keep records of everything that happens to us. I have a scientific, like, Leonardo da Vinci sketch of this guy.
I will give you a point of inspiration for that.
Thank you.
That was lovely, David.
So she takes it and kind of looks like, okay.
I would like to take the time to sort of describe his mannerisms, his way of speaking a little bit, because that stuff doesn't come through as well in drawing.
Okay.
And the way someone walks can do an enormous amount based on just like,
right.
what they're like. So.
Well, some of it, I mean, it's going to be kind of like a costume that I put on you. So I mean, the sounds and things. Okay, really, what I need to do is practice, and if we could give this a shot before so I can have a good rest before we have to do this, and I feel like I'm not doing it the first time under pressure because.
Understood.
Okay.
This is a gesture that means I agree. Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay, so this is something that I can cast on everybody. It'll affect the whole bunch of us. So is there anybody else any other costumes I should put on anybody?
What are me and Lovelace gonna be?
Well, I could make you invisible.
That might be best.
Invisible giant crab would be a great giant crab. Definitely invisible giant crab.
And so I can either be invisible or make some other kind of static illusion. Either way, I can do the seeming. I can make the illusion costume for all of you.
A question for you, Thomas. I don't remember the letter now. I could go find it. It's in my notes somewhere. But did Escreon say did Borannor say anything to Escreon about additional nightmares? Is he expected to bring his own nightmare, basically?
No. There was no reference to that. Only how much he loved the one you planned to murder.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Oh, he shouldn't love evil things.
It's the only things that I love him back. Anyway.
Wow. Got real for a second.
Little
I
sympathy
did,
for the
but
devil
then
there.
he's an oath breaker. One
The
more time.
airship speeds over the sands. She will do a practice shot of the seaming from the drawing. She will do her best.
We'll need to tell her colors because it's a pencil sketch.
Yeah. And
Do we need to roll for anything to like description, or we're just doing the best we can with the three of us because we were all there?
No. I think like with all of your description, and she'll ask you some questions and kind of fine tune it a little bit and try and get the voice right. Okay, now say something dastardly. Now say something friendly. It's a montage. It goes through as a montage. it's the dressing room montage.
Sounds more like a callback.
In her movie.
It's a good reminder we're all the star of our own show.
Right?
You're not. Why are you even there?
So is Borannor.
Well, I'm not going to argue with him about being the star of his own show, just like not every story has a happy ending.
Right? Sometimes the story is you're a dick and you gotta go down. So.
This is more like Lucky Number 11, not more like Easy Rider.
The airship continues to gain ground. As you're monitoring from the top of the ship over the afternoon, you can, especially if you're using the spyglass that's installed up there, you will be able to see fairly clearly the city several hours beforehand. It's flat desert on a flat world, unless you're one of those round earthers.
I also have my big fancy goggles that give me advantage on perception.
Yes. So it comes very clearly into view the city. You can see a camp laid out at sort of the base of it. The mountain itself is. Have you seen Half Dome in Yosemite?
Not in real life.
Or pictures. So imagine kind of that shape, but then it comes down into a carved snake's head. It is very clearly carved and worked into the stone. That this is the. You can see actually even the way that it creates the look of scales in the city. There are doors and streets, along the face of the cliff that seem to go farther in that create. A scaled look for this giant hooded cobra raising out of the sand.
Thomas, during the ride over, I will have taken a rest.
Short rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short rest.
At bedtime, I go to bed.
All right.
Well, I'd like a long rest. It was a several-hour flight.
Yeah.
Would I be able to squeeze a long rest in there?
Yeah. I mean, but in the afternoon, you can then start a long rest. You'll get to the point of the city during the long rest, though. So, which is okay. I mean, you're on your own schedule.
After a long day of looking for things, I go to bed.
Okay.
He feels successful.
I looked at so many things.
All right. Go ahead and take your rest. Mark your hit points. Your spells back. Abrila, Unvilla will do the same.
My exhaustion go away?
I assume you're what? Sorry, say that again.
Does my exhaustion go away?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I assume that you are in the bubble.
Yeah, I would go to
Okay.
the comfortable bed.
All right. And if anybody else is resting in there, you awake in the early evening, And it's funny that you mentioned the Majora's Mask moon, because you can see very clearly the hole punched in the sky that is the black moon is just barely passing just the barest sliver away from the red moon. And any moment now, they will converge. Not tonight, but cosmically, they are. It's right there. The celestial reminder that the clock is ticking. The red moon looks exceptionally big with the black moon there. In point of fact, while they're not crossing over, there's even a little bit of light distortion on the red moon. As you can see that the curve of the sphere looks like it's kind of bent inward. Time is close. Bannon lets you know that your ship is ready to disembark whenever you are. We've double checked the launch mechanism. Should be great, for the first test. Do you guys do anything before you go?
Look at the beautiful, beautiful sky.
It is amazing. Desert nights, 0 clouds. You haven't seen a cloud since you got here. I mean, a cloud, not a giant sand. Anyway, but
right.
Yeah, it is amazing. You can almost hear the Disney princess at the front of the ship doing her solo.
So I would like to tell a story to my peers here about, what's that? There we go. About some of those starscapes, particularly about ones who battled against what seemingly impossible odds and were still victorious, and we, name the stars after them because blah, blah, blah. And that blah gets a point of, an inspiration die. Not inspiration die. The thing Bardic inspiration die.
Yeah.
Which is a 1d10 for everybody, I think. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yay.
Like.
All right. And as the sun sets, darkness falls very quickly on the desert. The temperature drops. Bannon salutes, pulls the lever, arm extends out, opens up, and on its own power, now the bubble is left behind by the ship, and they head kind of bank off into the horizon. What do you guys do? Who's flying the ship?
David, really?
ClickClack
ClickClack is probably flying the ship, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Unless Thursday has shown up, in which case I'm pretty sure I'd want Thursday to pilot the ship.
All right. You pilot the ship toward destiny, and also toward our quick break, which we'll take now. This is GameBreakers, A Bard's Tale. If you like it, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And if you want to see it get better, we do too, and we made a Patreon just to help. Go ahead and hit it up. And in the meantime, have a good game.